Welcome back, Kinda Grown fam. It's Nicholas Evans again, your host. Here to remind you, adulting might come with bills, but it also comes with some of the craziest stories of your life. Some that absolutely make no sense at all. This episode, this one's personal. I might be getting into one of the most chaotic eras of my life. I worked at our local mall. People say retail builds character, it also builds trauma and some PTSD. Every time I hear a Cinnabon oven beep. Before I was podcasting, I was juggling school, semi responsibility, and this little snack kiosk in our local mall with my aunts. It was snacks, soda, sugar, and straight up chaos. The kind where one minute you're handing out cotton candy and the next minute you're watching a robbery unfold across the hallway while the mall cops are moving as slow as they can. And the funny part, the kiosk wasn't even the only place I worked with them because when we weren't dealing with mall madness, we were running a family food truck. If the mall was chaos with AC, the food truck was basically chaos in a sauna. Customers, family arguments, and the random nonsense that went down, it pretty much felt like a TV show. If you've ever worked with family, you already know it's all love until somebody gets hurt. So yeah, today's episode is for everyone who's ever worked retail, fast food, or any job where you question your life. Grab a snack, preferably one you didn't steal, and let's get into it. Well, snack kiosk was like the hot spot for all the workers. They'd all come over there, and that's where everyone would talk. Everyone from trying to think, Journeys, Route 21, T-Mobile, GNC, American Eagle. Everyone would come over there, buy their snacks, and just come talk for a little bit when they was on their break. Basically, we were supposed to be professional, but as family, there's no such thing as professional when it's your aunties. One's at the register talking to customers, the other one's gossiping about who got fired, and I'm just trying not to drop all this stuff that got delivered from Pepsi. And the customers, man, you see everything working in a mall. Arguing, kids running full speed into glass doors, mall cops acting like they're part of the FBI. My auntie would lean over. Man, he thinks he is on some real shit. He ain't nothing but a cop. It was like its own ecosystem. You see the same people, same workers, and some weird routines. Perfume lady always sprayed way too much and it was right in your face. The guy from the phone kiosk was always trying to flirt with my auntie. It was like living in a sitcom that just never got canceled, I swear. And I'll be honest, I learned real quick that family and business do not mix. Because when things went wrong, you couldn't just clock out. You had to ride home with the same people you were arguing with. I said I was sorry about the slushy machine, and they just keep roasting you the whole drive home. This episode, I got plenty of stories, but I'm gonna dive into a few today. Let me start. Let me talk about the cotton candy robbery. It was me and one of my aunties, and she had to use the bathroom. It was later. Mall was about 2 hours from closing, and she had to use the bathroom. So I watched it, and we didn't have a bathroom nearby, so we had to go into like TJ Maxx, and she was gone maybe 5 minutes or so. Uh, yeah, around 5 minutes. I was watching it. We had like cotton candy tubs, small little tubs on the counter, and they were like $2 or so. So she goes to the bathroom, and five or six dudes from I don't know where they're from. They came up, and I knew one of them from school, and they start talking to me, and they're crowding the counter, absolutely like right on top of it. And we talk maybe 5 minutes or so. Then they leave. 30 seconds later, my auntie walks up to the counter. She just got done, I guess. And she says, "You just sell them a tub of cotton candy?" I said, "No, I haven't sold anything while you were gone." And she said, "Okay, I'll be right back then." And I look over and she's absolutely yelling at them kids. She said, "What did she say? Oh, so y'all thought you was slick. You gonna steal from me for some cotton candy? Cotton candy that was only $2? Yeah, I don't play that game. Let me get that back." And they kept saying, "No, ma'am, we came into and came into the mall with it." She said, "No, you didn't. I saw you take that from my counter. Give me that back right now or I'm gonna call security." And they just kept saying, "No, no, we came in with it. It's ours." She said, "No, you didn't. I saw you snatch that from my counter. I ain't stupid." She was hysterical. No, yeah, they just kept fighting for 5 minutes. Security took forever to get there. By the time security finally walked over, she said they finally said, "Yes, ma'am, we stole it," and they gave it back, and she snatched it right out their hand. She starts walking back and slams it down on the counter. She said, "I hate kids," and she said, "You better say," or she said, "Don't say sorry. Say thank you for security not doing nothing." About an hour later, like the leader, I'd say, of that group, he was like way older than any of those other kids. He said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry about all of them. I don't even hang out with them anymore. I don't associate myself with them. So I'd like to apologize for them stealing that." She said, "I don't give a damn. Now get to stepping. Go away." That cotton candy became legendary. It was like our mascot. We joke about it every shift. That was the day I learned you don't mess with her. Nah, speaking of stealing, one night we actually witnessed another store get robbed. So like where we were, when you're looking from the front counter, it's a Route 21. So it was closing time. We were counting cash, and we look over and we see some dude sprint out of Route 21, clothes all in his hand, and a girl walks out and she barely even yells. She just says in monotone, "He's stealing." And some dude at a clothing kiosk ran after him. My auntie yelled, "Hey, yo, you better get his ass." Yeah, the Route 21 girl barely even said anything. And apparently, the dude that was at the jewelry kiosk ran after him, ran out the door. When he came back, he said he didn't catch him, but apparently, he hopped in the bed of a truck and they zoomed off. They never got the clothes back. Day, I swear it was like a movie in that mall. So many crazy things happened. One time, this lady yelled at me because we didn't do 2 for $5 Red Bulls like Speedway does. And she started flaming me. She said, "Why don't you do it like Speedway?" I said, "Because we not a gas station." She just kept yelling for no reason. You could have just bought the Red Bull and went on. Or could have gone to Speedway. There was no need to yell at me. And my boss, my auntie, she came in and finally flamed her for doing that. I mean, people crazy here. And there was this one dude. I don't know what he has, and I'm not trying to be offensive towards him in any way. He had some mental disability, I know for sure. He'd always come by and he'd buy like 5 drinks every day I worked, and he'd only pay in coins. And my one of my aunties, I'm not gonna say my auntie's name, but she would always flame him when he left, bro. She was hysterical. I haven't seen her in a minute, but no, it ticked everyone off when he paid in coins. He'd buy like, I don't know, $14 worth of stuff, man. And he paid in nickels and dimes every time. Mall also had this kiosk where you could pay $10 and you could ride on these electronic animal things. And it was right by us. So those kids would take off and hit our fridges with the animals. And one time they knocked over like every drink in there and broke like a glass bottle when it was only me there. I was about to flip that kid over on that animal, man. I was ticked. Every retail worker's least favorite day was Black Friday. I think I worked like 2 or 3 Black Fridays, and I always worked the early shift. I'd rather go ahead and get it done. I worked like 6 to 12, I think. Man, those always sucked. There'd be some crazy people running through that mall, I swear. System would not take like Visa gift cards. And I argued probably like 10 times over the time I worked there. People would be so mad. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't do nothing about that. And I know my aunties got mad too at them type of people that got mad about that type of stuff. We had Wi-Fi for our system, and so people would try to come use ours, and they'd come ask me for the password, thinking I was cool, saying, "Bro, for real, please let me have it while I'm here at the mall." Nah, man, that's an extra charge. And I always hated the people when they'd buy a $3 drink and they'd try to use a 50 or 100. I can't break that, man. They'd be like, "Why not? Please, I just need that drink." No, go on. Either use your card or bring a smaller bill. Family is wild. Whenever something went wrong, my aunties would try to blame each other if it was Auntie M's fault or Auntie B's fault. They'd always be on each other's necks. It was some of the funniest stuff I've seen. She'd always have the comebacks. If a customer got rude, I didn't have to say nothing. My aunties would switch into "don't play with me" mode so fast. One guy said, "These chips are way too expensive." My aunt said, "Then go on. You don't have to buy nothing." I had to step in, "Sir, have a nice day," while trying not to laugh. Gas was not crazy enough. The food truck was a whole other story. It was just me and my aunties still running the whole thing. Hot dogs, fries, funnel cakes, I think, all in a space the size of my closet. So it was hot in there, man. Like, I can feel my soul sweating hot. Everybody had their role, or so we thought. Auntie B's on the grill, Auntie M's working the window. Actually, no, reverse. Auntie M's working the grill, Auntie B's working the window. And I'm on buns and drinks. But nobody respected each other's jobs. One auntie's yelling, "Who keeps eating the fries while they're cooking?" And the other goes, "I'm taste testing for quality." They're arguing over who's eating profits while I'm trying not to laugh my ass off while holding the lemonade. Some days we'd be screaming over the fryer noise and 5 minutes later laughing like nothing happened. Chaos, but also kind of the best time. We had this thing where we joke like we don't need AC, the only air we got is air coming from outside. But I swear we made the best food in town, or I mean the whole tri-state area. People would follow us from event to event just for the fries. Even though we fought like cats and dogs, once that first order came in, we were straight in sync. That's family teamwork, loud, messy, but it worked. One weekend, we took the food truck to a festival at my high school. I think I was a junior. Thought it was gonna be fun, easy money, good crowd, chill vibes. Wrong. It was hot, no shade, no breeze, nothing. And they parked us right next to like some petting zoo in the parking lot. I'm to serve burgers, but the animals was loud and it stunk. Off fine, line steady, music was playing, the fire dies. At mid order, smoke coming out like the truck's about to take off into orbit. Auntie M's yelling, "Unplug it before we end up on the news." We're panicking, people in line looking confused, and this one guy goes, "Bro, I've been waiting 20 minutes." At that point, we were waiting too. We ended up fixing it with duct tape, don't ask how, and somehow survived the rest of that festival. When we closed, my auntie sat down, took a bite of funnel cake, and said, "Well, we didn't die, so that's a win." That became our new family motto after that. Food truck story. I don't remember where we were at, but these two women ended up fighting, like throwing hard punches at each other, and they both got arrested that day. Apparently, one kissed the other. I don't know if they knew each other, but I was inside doing something inside one of the stores, grabbing something for us. And yeah, but they both got arrested. I saw them get put into the cop car. That was one of the craziest days on the food truck. And like looking back at those mall and food truck days, they were wild, but they taught me a lot. Learning hustle, learning people. That chaos can actually be kind of fun if you got the right people beside you. Even when we were arguing, sweating, or dodging drama, we laughed through it all. And those memories still make me smile. Yeah, shout out to the kiosk crew, the food truck, and my aunties. Y'all know how it was, but you also know chaos comes with love. I think that's gonna be it for this one. You can follow me. You can follow the podcast on IG and TikTok, and I think I got a Facebook set up. But yeah, that's all. Stay semi-responsible and kind of grim. Peace.